Hey everyone, welcome to Startups on Demand, sponsored by New York Tech Media. Today I've got the awesome Avi Pardo, the co-founder and COO of LeapXpert, on the show. He's actually logging in from Singapore, which is pretty awesome. And I've actually wanted to make this interview. You know, I've kind of usually people kind of pitch me to be interviewed, and this time I kind of pitched them. Because I really interested in learning more about their product, about their service. I think it's really cool. And actually, my own agency, our own PR agency, have been trying to find like a nice communication channel for our team. And I don't know, maybe LeapXpert can be a solution for us. So Avi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for hosting me. Nice to meet you, Omri.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, where the initial idea from the company came from and what is that you guys are doing.
Yeah, so we're a few founders that are coming from the communication industry, many years in experience in the enterprise communication industry, collaboration space, meeting space, where you see the Microsoft Teams and the Zooms of the world. Now, we've been spending a lot of time in this industry. Kind of a few years ago, we kind of started to feel that there is a strange behavior of users. People in enterprises are using very sophisticated collaboration systems, as I mentioned, like Microsoft Teams and Zoom and others. However, what we've seen that once they are trying to communicate with people outside of their organization, they're actually moving to some strange device, their mobile devices, and actually using what they really like to use with their friends and family, and in recent years also for business, WhatsApp and WeChat and Instagram and all of the tools that we all like to use. And we kind of felt that maybe there is a moment here that someone needs to kind of connect between these two environments. The heavy enterprise collaboration environment and the consumer market, which exists in two different universes. And coming with our deep experience in communication space, we thought, okay, we can be this company that does it. And that was the key decision to launch LeapXpert.
Awesome. So what do you guys actually do? So you guys have a platform that kind of integrates all messaging apps. Is that correct?
We built a platform. It's called Federated Messaging Orchestration Platform. It's a platform that enables enterprise users to communicate with their clients or whoever is outside of the enterprise over social messengers such as WhatsApp and WeChat and others in a secure and a compliant way. So part of the user experience, you work from one single environment and you are speaking with different people through different channels. On the other hand, the enterprise itself gains control of all of these communication flows when it comes to user management, security, compliance, things that the enterprise really care about.
So for instance, if let's say a customer wants to interact via WhatsApp, so he sends a message through WhatsApp, and the enterprise, the company, you know, the customer service, he receives it through the LeapXpert platform. Is that correct? That's how
it goes through the LeapXpert platform, and it receives it in the environment that the enterprise decides to have as a front-end application. It can be Microsoft Teams, it can be LeapXpert, and soon also Slack. But the beauty here is once this thing is established, the enterprise gains control of all of the communication flows. So you can trace back data, you can manipulate data, you can do things with that. You can understand what's happening between the customer service person and the clients.
Interesting. So I'll tell you like a kind of an issue that we've been trying to solve. So we've been getting a lot of kind of messages, you know, through LinkedIn, direct messages, through Facebook Messenger, through the company Messenger, through WhatsApp, through WeChat. We have one client actually in Hong Kong as well. And And it's been like, we've been thinking, hey, like we need to kind of juggle between like 5 or 6 different like messaging providers every single day, and it's super time consuming. And we've tried, I think, a few other solutions that I'm not gonna mention them here, to kind of integrate everything together. And it hasn't, like, we haven't seen like a kind of like a perfect solution yet. So what you guys do is like, what, okay, so like, if you guys want to help us, what's the next stage? You guys come in and kind of integrate everything so we get it in one specific channel?
Yeah, you register to our service. We have a self-service that you can register to. And then we enable all of these communication channels to integrate into our environment. And from that point, you become a user in our platform. Mm-hmm. And you are able to communicate with your clients over any channels from one single environment. The beauty here is that once you do it, as a company, you are able to see all of the data that is going between your agents and their clients. So the clients can be, the same client can be on WhatsApp, widget, and LinkedIn. So you may want a single source of truth of what's happening with that specific client. You want it in a single place.
So does it integrate like a CRM? So like, let's say I'm communicating with one specific client or one prospect with different channels. I have it like let's say like how HubSpot has it, or something like this, like a nice CRM where I can see, you know, the whole flow of the conversation.
Exactly. Just imagine that you can see all of the conversations with a specific client, doesn't matter on which channel he exists, on your CRM, and you can trace back and see what happened. And if someone replaces you in the job, then you can continue with the conversation that you left behind.
Love it. Love it. So in terms of, let's talk a little bit about your target audience. So in terms of like, you know, case studies and kind of like what is the perfect kind of enterprise, you know, partner for you guys, what type of verticals and industries are you guys working with?
So what we've seen so far, there is a strong gravity into regulated markets, especially around banking. Today we are deployed in 7 out of the top 10 banks in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm talking about the tier ones. For them, it's not just a user experience and a productivity improvement, but also a risk. You cannot do banking over these channels. It's not regulated. We make it okay. With our platform, an organization which is deploying such a thing can be certified by the regulators and can operate over these channels.
Interesting. So it's mainly, okay, mainly regulated. And other than that industry, is there any other kind of industry that you think, like, because I think the communication industries, you know, PR agencies and media publishing companies, I think they can tremendously benefit from that kind of solution because they're getting such a big inbound of messaging.
Yeah, so down the road, we see ourselves as a good fit for any enterprise that wants to govern and control their external communication over social channels. What we've seen right now is an early stage of a market development. It's still an early stage. So the stronger gravity comes from a regulated market and self-regulated market. So law firms, accounting firms, services market. But down the road, we do see a great potential in public sector, in commercial, retail, and HR and other markets.
Nice. So I want to kind of zoom in on the actual product and ask you, you know, how was the process like of actually building the product and the software and the SaaS model of it? And, you know, what has been kind of like the most challenging kind of integration or aspect of building this infrastructure?
So it's a very complicated system because it needs to interact with a lot of environments. It's a core platform. But just think about a spider with a lot of legs. It needs to connect to different social channels on one hand, different environments from the enterprise side, the mobile environment, the databases, the compliance systems, the security, the Active Directories, etc. So the biggest challenge is that you need to integrate with a lot of environments, and you need to practice and have a great know-how in so many spaces. So getting the right talent that understands mobile, understands database, understands security, understands compliance, and as this represents a new medium of proper communication, the second challenge was to get the first few clients that actually are willing to do it. We're past that already. Luckily for us, our first ever client was a tier 1 bank. So it was.
That's always good.
Yeah, it was a great surprise. And the second customer was another tier 1 bank. So it was okay, we have something here. And then it continued to grow. So that part is behind us by now. Yeah.
In terms of like product roadmap, is there any interesting things you want to kind of announce that are going to be happening in the next couple of months or something?
Yeah. So we are enhancing in many aspects. Okay, so we're adding more channels, but we learned in the market, WhatsApp and WeChat by themselves, it's not enough. Okay, you have like different cultures which are using different channels, different age groups which are using different channels. You need to master a lot, and it keeps moving because younger people are coming into the commercial market as employees, and they like to use different tools. So we always need to keep updated with the trends. On the other side, from the enterprise side, there are also a lot of trends. Microsoft Teams right now is a very strong application, but we are seeing Zoom growing a lot, and we're considering to the things around that. Same for Slack and others.
Interesting. In terms of kind of fundraising or like the kind of like the back end business model, are you guys funded? Are you guys bootstrapped? I must admit, I didn't do any research prior to this talk.
Yeah. So end of last year, we announced to close a Series A round. We raised about $14 million US, which allowed us to continue to expand. We recently opened an office in Singapore, where I am right now, in London and New York, where I'm flying next, London and then New York. So it allows us to expand and continuing with our business growth. Right now, at this point, we have customers across the globe in 45 different countries by now. We are marching into our Series B, which will happen in the next 12 months, and continuing with our growth. Yes.
Awesome, Avi. So I think that's all. Thank you so much for taking this time, for the interview. And I really think, I would really want to test out your product and see, how good it is, and just, keep up the great work you guys are doing.
Thank you very much, and we'll be happy to invite you to a demo, and you can play with it, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you so much.